Hello! Hi! Welcome to this video where I am attempting to make a TBR. I've been looking at all of these books and I have decision paralysis. I I have too many options. This is it. I've finally done it. I've broken my own brain by giving myself way too many options and now I simply cannot decide what to read. All those TBR jar picks my next reads, or a board game picks my next read, or even going bowling to pick my next reads. All of that is making sense now. So, as a software developer, my first thought was to code something that helps me pick my TBR. But then I was like, wait, can we simplify this? Do we even need to code? I know. I'm a rarity, thinking that there's a simpler way to do things without writing 20,000 lines of code. Who would have thought? Certainly not upper management, but I have an idea, which was just a simple questions box on Instagram asking people to pick a number from 1 through 100. And I've got a few responses. So today, we're going to use those responses to pick out my next read. So basically, I asked people to pick a number from 1 through 100 because I have quite a lot of unread books on these shelves that you see right here. And I thought that it would be fun to go through them, but we have certain rules, certain guidelines for me to follow so that I don't like cheat, I don't wing it, I don't know, mess up, do whatever I want. I mean, I was already like really, really stuck in trying to figure out what I should read next. But just in case I suddenly decide what I want to read, I'm still gonna stick to this TBR. There are a couple of books that I already picked out that I'm gonna read. So I'm gonna talk about at the end of this video along with the rest of the books that we pick. But the ground rules are I'm allowed to give myself two skips, like two books that are selected or get selected that I'm really not in the mood for. I'm gonna allow myself to skip. I'm gonna select 5 books to read from my shelves. I already have, I think, 2 books that I really, really want to get to. So we're not gonna include those in this 5. I'm gonna pick 5 other books selected by the random numbers that people have given me. If I land on a book that's like in the middle of a series, then I'm gonna include the whole series. If I land on a book that is a part of an unfinished series that either hasn't been released completely or I don't own the entire thing yet, I'm gonna skip it. There's one and only one exception to this, which is Percy Jackson, because I love reading Percy Jackson and I'm gonna read it. I'm just gonna read it. So there's that. So let's get started. I actually wrote down the numbers that people have given me. So okay. So the first number that someone gave me, I'm gonna go in sequence of where like the numbers that were given, as opposed to like sorting them. What am I? Bubble sort? I'm not gonna sort the numbers. I'm just gonna go through them and little computer science joke for you there. But yeah, so I'm gonna go in the sequence of the responses that were submitted, and I've picked 5 responses, the first 5 responses to be clear. And yep, so the first number that someone gave me was 19. So let's count. 5, 6, 7, 8, 18, 19. That's The Devil and the Dark Water. So I guess I have my first book, and it is a chonky book. We have our first book, which is The Devil and the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. I'm already scared. But as you can probably tell from the low light that we have, it's a really gloomy monsoon day. And to be honest, I've been feeling really gloomy myself. Like, I woke up today, I had a whole packed day planned with a lot of work that needed to be done, but I just needed to take the day because I'm not feeling well at all. And the reason I'm filming this video, of course, is because I must be productive in order to justify my existence, which is really, really terrible. And I am unlearning it as I go. But I think that Devil in the Dark Water really matches the gloomy, gloomy vibes that we've got going on today. So I think that it is fitting that that's the first book. So the next number that someone gave me was 85. I really should have sorted these books. Anyway, so this was number 19 right here. So I'm gonna count from Dangerous Women, which is the 20th book. So 20. Also, I'm going shelf by shelf. We're starting over 72. Pandora. So I guess I'm reading Pandora, guys. Why did I close this? I got it. So the second book that I'm going to be reading this month, I guess, is Pandora, which may or may not be a Greek mythology retelling. I was really certain last month that this is a feminist retelling of Pandora, of Pandora's Jar fame. But then I read the synopsis, and apparently this takes place in London in 1799. So that's interesting. I did actually really want to get to this book in June, but I was not able to. And so I am actually excited that this is on this list. And now we have the next number that someone gave me was 120. I asked for numbers from 1 to 100 and I was given 120. So, way to go on following rules, but I'm just gonna loop around anyway so I can count to 120. This was the 85th book. So, once again, counting through all the books that I own. 85, right? 86, 17, 18, 19, 20. I mean, not but the 120th book is book 3 of the Raven Cycle, which is Blue Lily, Lily Blue. So I guess I'm gonna be reading the entire Raven Boys series this month. Again, I have been meaning to read this book first, this entire series for so long, but the fact that this is a 4 book series just kept holding me back for some reason. And I guess you've picked it. I gotta read it. So we'll put this on the TBR. I'm just putting the first book of the series on the TBR for the time being. Or actually, you know what? I might skip this. Maybe it's just because I'm not feeling well today, but I might skip this series again. I'm so sorry, Raven Boys. I know I'm gonna love you, but let me just put this on hold for a minute. The next number that I've got is 24. So the 19th book was The Devil in the Dark Water, which was right here. So I'm just gonna start counting from there. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 24 comes out to be He Who Drowned the World, which is the second book in the She Who Became the Sun series. And I think a duology is doable, but I'm just gonna check out what the last book is and then decide if I'm gonna skip both of these series and just read standalones this month. I think now you understand what I meant by being so indecisive. Like, I don't know what I wanna read. I wanna read everything but also nothing. It's like when you keep skipping songs on your playlist until you find that one song that hits, but turns out that no song just hits the right way, if you know what I mean. The final number that I was given was 37, and that was the 24th book, right? So 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 35, 36, 37 is Wildest Things by Chloe Gong, which is the second book in the Immortal Longing series. And I am reading this. I am gonna read this. So, okay, let me just think. Okay, so I'm gonna read both the She Who Became the Sun duology and the Immortal Longings Wildest Things duology, but I think I'm gonna skip Raven Boys for the time being. So I think I've got my books, and let me just recap them for you now. Okay, okay. Okay. Alright. I really want to hold them the other way around. Just give me a moment. Oh, I really want to hold them the other way around, so just give me a moment while I try to figure this out. This is what happens when I ask for five recommendations. And that's when I skipped the whole entire series containing 4 books. So this is my July TBR. Hi. Let me go through all these books one by one, and then I'm just gonna start putting them aside. So the first book on this huge overambitious pile, the first book on this gigantic overambitious, actually I'm going to put this down because this is bad for my injury. Let's take this 3 or 4 books at a time. So the first book that I want to read is Electra. Why? Because I also want to still finish The End Crowns All and finish the duology that started with everyone's favorite Hades and Persephone retelling Girl Goddess Queen. So I want to read Electra. Then I want to read Pandora, again because I'm in my Greek mythology era. And then I want to read Swimming Lessons because I just got it and I went to like the book launch event and I met the author and my copy signed and embossed. I'm worried that if I put it off, it's gonna become one of those books that I keep putting off, and I don't want that to happen to it. So, yep. The next few books that are on my July TBR are firstly, Percy Jackson and the Wrath of the Triple Goddess. Percy Jackson and the Wrath of the Triple Goddess. Yeah. I don't know what accent that was. If that was a particular accent at all, then let me know. So yeah, I want to read Percy Jackson because I love Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson. I am like, my reading started with, okay, it started with Enid Blyton books about people who lived in like cozy cottages and had magic and went about doing unique and quirky things. But then when I actually like became a reader, like a someone who devours books, it was Percy Jackson. What introduced me to fantasy? Percy Jackson. What kept my interest for most of my childhood, if not all of it? Percy Jackson. So I'm gonna read Percy Jackson and the Wrath of the Triple Goddess, and then of course I'm gonna read Immortal Longings and Vilest Things by Chloe Gong, and then the Uncrowns all, like I mentioned, because I believe that this and Electra are gonna be really, really similar stories, or at least involve the same characters, if not the same characterizations, and if not the same parts of Greek mythology. But yeah, I'd like to read the two of them together. And then finally, I'm gonna read She Who Became the Sun, He Who Drowned the World, and The Devil in the Dark Water. So these are all the books that I'm gonna try to read during July. So honestly, wish me luck, because somehow I started with picking out 5 books for myself, and here I stand having picked out 10 books. So, nothing if not an overachiever. And I take back what I said about being the only software developer who's not complicating things, because okay, all right. So I'll see you guys at the end of the month or in the beginning of the next one, and we can see how much I actually end up reading. Bye.